So let me go ahead and reverse the camera here. And the way it's going to work, I hope, is I'm going to periodically stop this live stream when it is inappropriate for me to be live streaming. But I'm hoping that doesn't completely end the live stream and have to restart it again and again, but we're seeing. Here on the left-hand side is the Heroes and Legends building, which is a relatively new building at Kennedy Space Center. And hopefully we'll get a look at that a little later. On the left-hand side is the Rocket Garden. And these are replicas of rockets that have been used by NASA in the past, including the one that's laying down there in the background, which is a Saturn V1B. It's a miniature version of the full Saturn V rocket. Over here on the left-hand side is the Nature and Technology building. Looks like they've got some construction going on. This building here, directly in front. Haven't been here in about a year and a half, so I'm not even sure what that is. Have to check that out later. Uh-huh. Oh, what's this? Here's a Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think of space not as the final frontier, but as the next frontier. Not as something to be conquered, but to be explored. I'm going to be going to the Atlantis exhibit a little bit later. Rocket Garden Cafe. The Universe Theater is where they have historically done the Meet an Astronaut experience, where you get to speak to a former astronaut, listen to a presentation, get a picture. Unfortunately, it's been closed due to COVID-19, but I understand it's supposed to be restarting soon. The bus tours are right ahead. They are very limited because of COVID, but we were able to get a reservation, so we'll be doing that a little later today. And here is the gift shop here on the left-hand side. Astronaut training experience, ATX. This is an additional fee where they have simulators and you can do some training that's similar to what astronauts go through. And this is the world's largest space gift shop. We'll be going in there a little bit later.
They're not open.
I think you're in line for the bus.
Oh.
You don't need to be in line for the bus.
Where do you get the Starbucks?
Probably won't open till later.
Oh. Well, we were trying to help out. No, this morning.
So we'll go over to Sheldon.
Lead the way, Professor.
So just doing some live stream, attending, so.
Get on it.
You want to? So we'll go over to the Space Shuttle.
It's always exploring. So we can improve life here on Earth.
Oh, I have someone watching live. Here's the Orbit Cafe. Good place to have lunch. Back there in the background, you see the entrance to the Space Shuttle Atlantis exhibit. And that's where we're headed now. All right, so this is the Space Shuttle Atlantis exhibit. It's the actual retired Atlantis shuttle, one of 5. Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, and Endeavour were the other 4 space shuttles used from 1981 to 2011. They were retired in 2011. What you're looking at here is the external fuel tank and the 2 solid rocket boosters, which are the white on the right side, on the left side of the orange tank. These are mock-ups, they're not real, unfortunately. They really did an awesome job of putting this exhibit together. These, they were. Okay, let's go inside.
want to reduce the CO2 buildup?
We need a better safety margin. The crew can tolerate a short-term increase, but
Engineering? Morning, Eddie. What, right now? Building 36?
I didn't even know there was a building 36. It must be important. Everyone's here. We got propulsion, aerothermal, flight dynamics.
Anyone know why we're here?
For this. Good morning. We're going to create America's next spacecraft. It's going to launch like a rocket and land like an airplane, and it's going to be reusable.
Can't do that with a rocket.
It's not a rocket. It's a shuttle.
Now it's time to go to the next step. From sketch pad to launch pad. Going to the moon was a camping trip. Now our job is to work and live in space. This vehicle has to do something that we have never done before. Perform 4 key tasks and be able to do them over and over again. There is nothing easy about putting a ship back up into space, let alone a whole fleet of ships. But first, let's talk about the launch. We have never designed engines and vehicles that can be reused. But we will, and once we're in orbit, we go to work. We want to take all kinds of cargo up there in addition to the people. Science labs, satellites, even the space station. And when all the work is done, we gotta bring everybody back home. All right now, the country's waiting. Let's build ourselves a space shuttle.
It's too big, it's too heavy. But we're launching one spaceship on the back of an even bigger one.
What if we split the booster into its pieces? Rockets, fuel tank.
It's supposed to be reusable. How do we get all those parts home?
What if we just throw the fuel tank away?
We're writing all new processes, procedures, manuals. We've never had to reuse a ship before.
Also, gonna have to build some really big garages.
Sir, what if she lands somewhere other than Florida? How does she get back here? It's a glider.
Buy her a plane ticket home.
Ablative heat shields are heavy, and they burn up on re-entry. We need a more reusable solution. Silica foam tiles, thousands of them, fitted together in one lightweight, reusable heat shield.
Another holdup with the engines? Tell me some good news with the tiles.
The heat shield bond keeps failing. The tiles keep falling off.
So another delay. How long? How long?
1.5 to 2 years.
Well, this is going to be fun to tell my boss. Everybody get back to work.
when they come home.
The president's message said you go forward this morning on a daring enterprise and you carry the hopes and prayers of all Americans with you. And astronaut John Young, the commander of the mission, replied, "That's a right fine speech. We sure appreciate it."
This launch of Columbia marks NASA's first manned test flight ever flown into space with people on board. Coming up on the 5-minute point. Mark, T-minus 5 minutes. After Friday's failed launch attempt, it does appear that the shuttle will take off as scheduled today. Final chase plane is taken off from Sandvik Air Force Base. All morning, NASA spokesman Hugh Harris has repeatedly assured us that everything is going smoothly. Certainly those involved here today hope that continues.
May I have your attention, please? Should you need to leave the presentation for any reason, we kindly ask that you exit using the doors located at the front of the theater. As a reminder, we ask that you refrain from the usage of any cell phones, video recorders, or external lighting. Thank you.
Thank you.
126 million miles. Atlantis, welcome home.
Okay, so here you have the real Space Shuttle Atlantis. It's not a mock-up, it's not a replica, it's not a model. This is the actual Space Shuttle Atlantis that flew into space 33 times. Here's the front section where the astronauts would be during launch, and this is the cargo bay section where all kinds of satellites were brought up into space, including the famous Hubble Space Telescope. Back section, the engines back then. Take a look at the engines here. 3 main engines. These engines, by the way, have been refurbished and will be used on the new SLS rocket that will be taking us back to the moon and on to Mars. Those engines are being refurbished. And here's a little bit more information about the engines. The RS-25. Here you're looking at the Canadian-built robotic arm. They also have 1 or 2 of those on the International Space Station. Each shuttle had a robotic arm. That area right there is where the astronauts would actually get in and out of the shuttle. Underbelly of the shuttle. You can see hundreds and hundreds of tiles, heat protecting tiles to protect it on re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. They did an awesome job, I believe, here, putting this on display, making it look like it's in outer space with the cargo bay doors open. Switching topics for a moment, in the same exhibit they have a real life-size model of the Hubble Space Telescope. Again, that was launched with one of the shuttles. I believe it was Discovery, Shuttle Discovery back in 1990, I believe. But this model is an actual size model of Hubble, which is about the size of a bus. To make a comparison to the James Webb Space Telescope that will be launched, currently scheduled for December 22nd of this year, 2021, James Webb will have a mirror which is 3 times the size of Hubble. So it should really be providing us some really awesome views of outer space. Alright, and another view of the shuttle. Are you playing over here?
I'm trying.
Oh, repair ISS.
Drill from the top down.
Terrible astronaut, apparently.
They have some interactive games here that you can play in the exhibit. This one apparently is simulating being an astronaut in space and making some repairs. So I think what we'll do, we're gonna head down and then go to one of the movies.
Alright.
Where did other
Probably went to Starbucks.
They left?
No.
Oh.
They probably went to Starbucks.
Okay.
Spencer died for coffee. I think my mom's on there.
Can you see the underneath there? You can see this.
Tell them what it is.
The kind of the markings. So that those are all markings that have come from re-entering into the Earth's atmosphere. The extreme heat that's been put on the tiles at the bottom here. All right. So we're gonna head down. We're gonna head down and then head over and see a movie. See one of the movies. So I really think that the Atlantis exhibit here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex is one of the best exhibits to see while you're here. They truly did an awesome job. So make sure that you check it out. Inside this exhibit they have a ride. And we're not going to go in the ride right now. But the ride is back in that direction right over there. And it's kind of like simulating being inside of a shuttle launch. Coming up here on the right and the left-hand side will be the patch that represents each of the 33 missions that the Space Shuttle Atlantis took. Starting with the first one here. Space Shuttle Atlantis was first launched in 1985, and so there's a patch for each one. You see some of them, the astronauts that have actually visited here, have signed by their names. Story Musgrave, for example, was on STS-44 in November of 1991, and he actually signed it. Yes, there's another one. Quite a few of them. And the very last shuttle was this one right here. Atlantis was the last of the 5 shuttles to fly, and it last flew in July of 2011, and it was STS-135, so that was the last shuttle. Okay. Nice and wet in here.
Possibly go for down at the Kennedy Space Center.
Not yet. I don't see any questions. Let's see here. So that ride that I was mentioning earlier is the shuttle launch experience. And that's the entrance to it right there. These are actual tires that were flown on the space shuttle on STS-135, so the last one. These are the actual tires. Michelin's. Super heavy duty. Here's a model of the space shuttle. And there's the real shuttle from below now. So I'm gonna go into the over here. Oh, actually, this is one of the astronaut transport vehicles where the astronauts will be taken from where they get suited up over to the space shuttle, called the Astro Van. So they put together a very nice memorial for the two shuttles, Challenger and Columbia, that unfortunately didn't make it. So here's an overview. You have Space Shuttle Enterprise on the left-hand side. That one never flew in the test. That was a test vehicle. And then the first one was Columbia. That one broke up in 2003, I believe it was, when it was re-entering the Earth's atmosphere over Texas and parts of Louisiana. Challenger blew up about 90 seconds after launch in 1986. And so the three remaining shuttles are Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Discovery is on display at the National Smithsonian Institute near Dulles Airport, and Endeavour is at the California Science Center in LA. I hopefully don't have those two confused, but they do have a nice memorial for Columbia and Challenger. So on the left-hand side is the Challenger memorial, and on the right-hand side is Columbia. Very tastefully done. Over here on the right-hand side, this is part of the Space Shuttle Challenger, the one that exploded in 1986. They were able to recover this section. And then on the right-hand side, the Columbia that fell apart upon re-entering into the atmosphere in 2003, they were able to recover the frames of the window section of the cockpit. Perhaps one of the most famous of the astronauts that died in both of these accidents was Krista McCullough, a school teacher from, I believe, New Hampshire. And so they have a few items on display here that were relevant to her. Head out. Head over to the movie. I think we have to go this way. Grab it. We accidentally got on one of the crazy roller coasters at Universal a couple weeks ago, and it was going like 60 miles an hour, and I was like, oh my god, am I doing this? And I'm thinking, how would I ever make Okay, so we're head over to the see one of the movies.
Okay.
And that's when I'm going to attempt to pause this. All right. Sorry about that. Lost connection. So what we're going to do is head over to one of the two IMAX theaters and watch a movie. I'm thinking it's probably not appropriate for me to be running the live stream during the movie. So I'm going to attempt to pause this and come back. I'm not sure if it's going to allow me to do that or not. So the movie, I believe, is 30 to 40 minutes long. It starts in about 9 minutes. So if you're interested in rejoining me, come back about that time. And it may be the same live stream I'm doing now, or it may have to be a new one. I'm not sure. Not done this before. This is the loading area for the bus tour. Pre-COVID, the bus tour would take you on a pretty nice tour around the actual Kennedy Space Center. This is the visitor complex, which is right outside of the Kennedy Space Center. It would take you by the VAB, it would take you by the launch pads, 39A, 39B, and then it would take you over to the Saturn V Apollo Center. But I think with COVID right now, they're not doing anything but taking tourists directly over to the Saturn V Apollo Center. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that's what I think is going on. Here's a map of the facility. So as you can see here, here's the visitors complex where we are now. And then the bus tour goes into the actual center and goes to the Apollo 75 center that used to go to the launch pads over here. And we'll see what happens. We're going to the theater? Going to the theater? So the movie starts in 10 minutes, right? Yeah.
I guess you guys are walking popcorn in here?
They do.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if they've increased their prices.
Of course they have. You gotta import that popcorn from China. That's too
Yep.
much money.
The most fun.
Here's what is it?
Yeah. Go to what's called NASA Now. And NASA Now has replicas and actual couple items that are relevant to what's happening. So NASA's Orion spacecraft. This is what the new astronaut
Lingering shot.
capsule looks like. And that's the Orion. Of course, the new launch system, the space launch system, the new rocket that's going to take us to the moon and onto Mars. What you're looking at straight ahead is the first Dragon capsule used to go to the International Space Station. This is, of course, built by SpaceX. This is the actual one. This is the actual Dragon capsule used to deliver supplies to the ISS by SpaceX. This here is a mock-up of Boeing Starliner. This is a capsule that's supposed to take U.S. astronauts from Florida up to the International Space Station, though they are running more than 2 years behind because of technical problems with it. And this is what the inside of it looks like. Very nice, very modern. Hopefully Boeing can figure out what their problems are. They had docking issues, software problems that prevented it from docking with the ISS when it was launched back in 2019. Okay, so we better head to the movie, because if it starts, they don't let us in. 3 minutes. Oh, they don't have it. I don't know. No.
1 minute. Because automatic.
All right, this is a 3D movie. I'm not going to be able to capture it in 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this live stream. And again, hopefully be able to come back at about 10:40, well, about 40 minutes, and resume the live stream. If I'm unable to resume it, then I'll have to start a new one. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you back very soon.